Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. You don't want to watch the Super Bowl to hear Kendrick Lamar perform Not Like Us? Like, that's just horrible, man. Like, I am so disappointed in this. What up? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Tuesday morning, and I got a good show set up for you to take you through your day. All right, I got 3 lead stories for you. We're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar being the headliner at the Super Bowl, and I'll also tell you why we didn't talk about this yesterday. It should have been on yesterday's show. Then we're going to talk about Beyoncé being snubbed at the Country Music Awards. And then we're going to close out with Tyrese being arrested. Then we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about the new iPhone being revealed, Toronto hosting the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Jennifer Lopez and James Earl Jones passing away at the age of 93 years old. Then we're going to jump into question of the day, and we're going to close out with a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Kendrick Lamar to perform at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans. All right. Like I said at the top of the show, let me explain to you guys very quickly why we didn't talk about this. The team here at Trent Out Loud Podcast, whenever we gather news, obviously we gather it from the night before, anything that's coming in, and we talk about it in the morning. So Sunday, we gathered all the news, and I think this came out at around like 9 or 10 o'clock. What we normally do is in the morning, we check if anything happened overnight. Yesterday, my bad, I forgot to check. So did the show, totally didn't even know that this was all going on. So we're going to talk about it today. And we're also going to talk about what happened yesterday with all of the celebrities filling in and giving their 2 cents on why they're so mad that Kendrick Lamar is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show. And I'm also going to tell you why I'm so pissed off about it. But let's get into it. All right. Kendrick Lamar set to headline the Super Bowl in New Orleans. In a statement via Billboard, K-Dot spoke about being able to headline the show, saying, "Rap music is still the most impactful genre to date, and I will be there to remind the world why." He added, "They got the right one." Anyways, first of all, even the advertisement sucked, if you ask me. It's a minute long. I'll play a little clip of it, but it was just boring and didn't seem like reminiscent of like a large act that should be at the Super Bowl. Like, I don't even like the announcement, but anyways, here it is.
What the deal, everybody? My name Kendrick Lamar, and I'll be performing at Super Bowl 59. You know, it's only one opportunity to win a championship. No round twos. Let's get it.
So I will say the little shot at Drake saying you only have one chance to win a Super Bowl, no second round. You guys remember, I think 2 weeks ago, Drake put in his stories that, you know, they're going to win the second round. So a little shot at Drake, even though I'm on Drake's side. That was funny. Rest of it, trash. Okay, now, all right, let's get to the people and their backlash, artists. Let's start out with Nicki Minaj at first. She put this out on Twitter yesterday and said, "Denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason but your ego. Your hatred for Birdman, Drake, Nicki got you punishing Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is the GOAT. New Orleans, what's good? Eminem stood firm on having 50 Cent come out. A white man. That is sad. House Negro kind of things. But it's good for them. No loyalty. Welp. N-word, y'all keep whatever, blah, blah, and then she keeps swearing. So she is pissed off at Jay-Z and Roc Nation. Let me give you guys some context for those of you who don't know the whole story. Jay-Z and Roc Nation is in charge of the Super Bowl halftime show, for those of you who don't know. Lil Wayne is from New Orleans. He's a New Orleans native. How could you have the Super Bowl halftime show and not have Lil Wayne on stage? So I did say it was going to wait, but I'm so pissed off about this. Let me talk about it now. So a lot of people are saying, well, because LA, you had Dr. Dre and Eminem, 50 Cent, and actually Kendrick Lamar and Mary J. Blige, it was Dr. Dre and friends. People are assuming that you're going to follow this when you go to a city that has a big artist from that city and have them represent. So, but then there's also some people that are like, just because they did that in LA, it doesn't mean if you go to New York, you got to get a Jay-Z or a Nas or a 50 Cent. It doesn't mean, oh, okay, we'll give you that. However, putting Kendrick Lamar ahead of Lil Wayne, like I said, I still think you should follow the place where you're from, right? Like if you are in New Orleans and you have somebody like Lil Wayne, you should. But just for argument's sake, even if you say you don't want to follow that, because not every Super Bowl halftime show showed a celebrity from that state. Okay, fine. My point is that Lil Wayne is a legendary artist with an immensely large catalog. Kendrick Lamar, aside from the beef with Drake or whatever, he's still a great artist. Top 5, let's say. Even if you want to say top 3, or even some people say he's the greatest of all times or the GOAT right now for this generation. My point is that his catalog, the depth of his catalog of hits is not that even comparable to Lil Wayne. I, in my opinion, don't even think it's close. I was listening to Charlamagne yesterday and he was like, oh, well, Big Stepper is the largest grossing hip hop concert of all times. That is different saying you are going to pay and Kendrick Lamar is your favorite artist, so you're going to go and watch Kendrick Lamar. I don't care if he has the greatest or the biggest selling concert of all times. That doesn't mean that he's a global artist, that he has global hits. Like I said, take away the argument of it being in New Orleans, which is a strong argument on its own. But my point is that what the history of the Super Bowl is almost paying homage to legendary acts, right? Or close to legendary. So Katy Perry, you wouldn't say she is legendary status because she's still, but she's at the ending of her career. So she is legendary or a new legend, let's just say. Where Beyonce has already reached her height so that you can honor somebody like that. Rihanna, Dr. Dre, that's what the Super Bowl halftime show is. Even when you have the rock and roll bands, you don't have a newer artist, right? And that's why it's so perfect for Lil Wayne to come on before Kendrick at the Super Bowl. Kendrick should be like 10 years from now, like he's still present. As big as a fan I am of Drake, like I love Drake. Y'all know I ride or die for Drake all the time. I don't think Drake should be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. If he would come on as a guest, fine. But he should never, at this point in his career, I don't think Drake would be a good candidate to headline because he's still at his height. Or actually, you know what? Even Drake is a little bit coming down off of his height. Like, you know, his height was 4 or 5 years ago, but Kendrick, it's just not his time. The Super Bowl halftime show is honoring the legendary artist, and that is the number one criteria, and they have to have global reach. The Super Bowl is the most watched television show in the world, but the world, not the U.S. Kendrick is big in the U.S., and he has some global recognition, but not that of a Lil Wayne, bro. Like, I just don't understand. I'll continue reading, but I'm just, this is Jay-Z, and I love Jay, man. Like, I never want to question him. He is a leader, a pioneer. There's so many things that he does that I look up to. So I would like to think that there's something that I'm not thinking about because it's Jay-Z and Rock Nation, and I hope to be proven wrong. But this just looks like what Nikki said, where he wants to snub Birdman, Nicki, and Drake. Like, he just doesn't want to give that camp their just due, and he wants to put the final nail in Drake's coffin, and this is what it's going to be. And like I said, even Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club, he was saying that the Grammys are going to be 1 week before the Super Bowl. So you all know that we're going to hear Not Like Us at the Grammys. Kendrick is probably going to win a Grammy for that, or Euphoria. So the whole Drake beef is going to come back again. And then the next week you have him at Super Bowl. But again, what Usher's Super Bowl halftime show, you went through close to 20, 25 years, 30 years of hits. Kendrick Lamar, you don't want to watch the Super Bowl to hear Kendrick Lamar perform Not Like Us? Like, that's just horrible, man. Like, I am so disappointed in this. I look forward to the Super Bowl halftime show equally as much as the football game. Y'all know I'm a big NFL fan, but I love great Super Bowl halftime shows. Like, it's just, I'm really, really shocked at this. I rarely disagree with Charlemagne. Y'all know I'm Team Charlemagne. I'm going to be at his Mental Wealth Expo next month in New York. That's my guy. I'm normally ride or die with him. But Char, you are wrong on this one, man. Like, and I know you're a Kendrick fan, bro. I know you're a Kendrick fan. I get it. But even me being a Drake fan, if I would hear that Drake would be headlining, I would be like, why would Drake be headlining now? It's not the time. Like I said, take the New Orleans out of it. It's not the time. Anyways, I could go on this for hours. I am that mad at it. And I don't feel like Jay is like a spiteful dude. Like, why would he do this? You know, like I digress. All right. So Nicki went off on a rampage. That was one person. Let me find who else. Master P speaks out on Kendrick Lamar's upcoming Super Bowl halftime performance, says Lil Wayne should be part of the celebration as well. Again, he wrote a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to read all of it now. Master P spoke out, and that's another thing. Master P's from New Orleans. Master P should be there. Now, Kendrick Lamar probably is going to bring out Master P, but people are saying, Kendrick Lamar might bring out Lil Wayne, so why are you guys arguing? Again, you don't have somebody that has a legendary catalog and you have him be the surprise guest. And are you crazy? There's no way that Lil Wayne is going to share a stage with Kendrick Lamar after he just had the biggest battle of all times with Lil Wayne's artist. And lastly, some people are like, oh, maybe Drake is going to come out and Lil Wayne. If you all think that Drake is going to come out at Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar, like, that is not going to happen. I really don't believe. It would be great for hip hop, but I really don't think, not on Drake's side, but I think Kendrick hates Drake that much that he wouldn't want to mend the beef right now. Maybe 10 or 15 years down the line when these guys are much older, they look back and be like, hey, whatever, you know, we had a moment, but definitely not in the next 6 months. No way. Birdman had said, these N-words are P-words. Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Tucci YMCMB. I'll make these N-words respect us on Gladdy. Hating ass N-words. Like, Birdman, of course, he's going to ride for his people. And even Boosie came out and said this. He said, y'all acting like y'all cool with how they're playing the Super Bowl, shaking my head. The most cultured city in the U.S., New Orleans. This is a smack in the face to every hip hop legend from New Orleans, Master P, Birdman. This shows they never wanted us to kick in the door in the first place because they still trying to lock it. Super Bowl 22 was in Cali, and Cali artists was allowed to do their thing, and it was a great show. But now it's in New Orleans, and New Orleans legends can't do their thing. Like I said, I agree with Charlemagne that just because you're in a city doesn't mean that you have to have an artist from that city. I get that. So Boosie is wrong on that point. But you should pay homage to the city, and you cannot bring out Lil Wayne on stage with Kendrick. You cannot do that. Yes, Master P can. He's neutral in it, but I'm just so disappointed. I do not want to see Kendrick Lamar on that stage. I don't want to see Master P come out. Like, I'm just disappointed. Again, I will say one thing. Jay-Z is a brilliant businessman. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully I can come on here February the 9th, will be the 10th, the day after, and speak to you guys Monday morning after the Super Bowl and be like, yo, Jay proved us all wrong. This happened, but for now, I can't see it, and I'm very disappointed. Let me know what you guys think about it. Send me an email, trent@cfgr600.com. Comment below, sound off, let me know, or send me a DM at Trent Out Loud. All right, in our second lead story, Matthew Knowles suggests race played a role in Beyonce's lack of CMA awards, the Country Music Awards nominations. Matthew Knowles believes race played a factor in Beyonce Knowles' lack of recognition at the Country Music Awards. According to TMZ TV, Beyonce's dad said he wasn't surprised that Beyonce's Cowboy Carter country album received 0 CMA nominations, especially given her past experience with the organization. He recalled that her 2016 performance with the Dixie Chicks at the CMA Awards wasn't well received, and the CMA never even apologized. Despite Beyoncé having one of the year's most successful country album, Matthew suggested that the voting reflects deeper racial divides, saying it still comes down to white and black. He explained that with the predominantly white voter base, decisions are sometimes based on race rather than talent and accomplishments. Although he directly called the voters racist, he said the lack of recognition speaks for itself. He also pointed out that Shaboozey, featured on Beyonce's album, did receive nomination for Best New Artist and Single of the Year with a bar song. Ultimately, he sees the CMAs as taking a negative stance towards Beyoncé, attributing it to a larger cultural issue in America. He added that there's little accountability for failing to embrace diverse cultures. Look, what I think it is, it's maybe has a little bit to do with race, but like he said, there was another black artist, Shaboozey, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, sorry. He's a dope artist, by the way. The fact that he is nominated and he's a black artist shows that it's not fully racist. But what I more think it is the fact that Beyonce isn't a quote unquote R&B technical artist. I shouldn't say technical. Traditionally, she does more R&B. I feel like they're just afraid of the hate. Because even in our R&B world, it's like, oh my gosh, Beyonce this, Beyonce always wins the awards, all whatever, blah, blah. So I think that they're hesitant to receive her in the country category because like how Kim Kardashian like gets the hate just because they're just tired of seeing her. So they don't want to give her props in another genre, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, if you have one of the most successful country albums and it's selling and it's a good album, you should give the girl her recognition. Who cares if she's the top and she's always not dominating? Like, if it's good, it's good. So I do agree with him. It's hate, but I don't think it's all out racism. All right, in our third and final lead story, Tyrese arrested for unpaid child support and must pay $73,000 to be released. All right, that's no money for Tyrese. Tyrese has been taken into custody for unpaid child support and must come up with $73,000 in order to be released, according to TMZ TV. Including the $75,000 is a $7,500 for the mother of his child's attorney's fees. The singer projected that this would happen on Sunday. He took to social media to vent about his legal battle, saying he felt like he'll be arrested soon. Shout out to my boy Tyrese. Like I said, I'm going to be with him at Charlemagne's Mental Wealth Expo next month, and maybe we'll try to get him on the podcast. But the fact that Tyrese talked about this on Sunday, said that he feels like he's going to be arrested soon. For those of you who are on social media heavy like me, you know Tyrese has been promoting his album. His new video came out. He's been on Club Shay Shay. He's been doing a media blitz for the past 2 weeks, and all of a sudden he gets arrested, and it's all over the internet. This smells to me like a little bit of a marketing trick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's doing this to keep his name in the headlines. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'll ask him at the expo, but he knew that this was coming, and he knew this would get him headlines. So shout out to Tyrese, and go check out his album. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. New iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Pro were unveiled yesterday. Just in, iPhone Pro, whatever. Okay, sorry, I read that already. Pre-orders will begin this Friday, September the 13th, with in-store available starting September the 20th. Swipe left to see some more details. All right, these are US prices, so I'm not going to say them here, but there's the 16 and Pro Max. And here, this is what I wanted. So a larger 6.3-inch screen for the Pro, and the Max will be a 6.9 display with a thinner bezel. It will have a larger battery. It will have a new desert titanium color, new faster A18 Pro chip. There'll be a new 480 MP ultra wide camera. That sounds interesting for content creators like myself. And there'll be a 4K 120 FPS slow motion video recording. All right, so we'll get some slow-mo recording for cameras. It seems to me like everything that is like cool in phones now is just the camera, and they make it like a little smidget, tiny bit bigger. There's no big new thing. I have the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I got it last year only because my phone was cracked, the screen was cracked, and I think I had like the 11 or whatever. But I think gone are the days where it's like, yo, I need to cop the new iPhone. And I always say this every time they come out with a new iPhone. What iPhone needs to do is change the back so that people will know what phone you have. We live in a show-off world. People are going to want to show that they have the new iPhone. So if they start just moving the camera around or having some sort of indication that you have the 16, people will want to buy it because people want to look, well, for those people who are into that kind of stuff, influencers, etc. They're going to want to buy it because like, oh, you got the new 16. Let me see it. And I feel like that iPhone hasn't done that in like the last like 5 or 6 years. You don't know if somebody has the 11 or the 10 or the 14 or 15, and that's what's making people not rush out and buy it. Whereas in the iPhone 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever, you knew what you had, and you can't get caught out in the club being when iPhone 9 came out and it's visible that you have an iPhone 7. That kind of stuff can't be happening. Anyways, somebody at the Apple marketing team, call me, man. I got some ideas for y'all. All right, in our second quick story, Toronto will be hosting the World Cup in 2026. And as an ambassador to Canada, Drake spoke with the president of FIFA. Okay, I didn't even know that FIFA World Cup was coming to Canada in 2026. I don't follow soccer that much. I do know that it's the biggest sport in the world, et cetera, et cetera. I just really don't follow it that much. But I have a little clip. Here is Drake talking to the president of FIFA. Take a listen.
See, there's passion in many things, but the passion in the World Cup, I think, is unmatched. Yeah. I think that it's just going to fill the streets with so much energy. Yeah, we'll be ready for you in Canada.
Shout out to Drake and shout out to the World Cup. I'm going to maybe try to catch a game or something, man. You know, I've never been to a soccer game, and I want to go to the World Cup. So if anybody has some link to tickets, hit me up. All right, in our third quick story, photos of Jennifer Lopez and Matt Damon holding hands at Toronto Film Festival has gone viral. Okay, guys, this is a little pushing it. I'm going to put this picture up on YouTube for those of you who want to see it. And, you know, the headline is very misleading because people want click. This is really clickbait. For those of you who can't see it, it's not like they're walking down the street holding hands. They're sitting down and like his hand is in his lap and it looks like she put her hand like in his hand. It could have been a joke. It could have been like, it's a picture. It's not a video. So yes, their hands are together, but there's so many things. It could be like a ha moment. You're grabbing his hand. It could be something. It's not like it doesn't look romantic from the picture. That's just what it says to me. For those of you who don't know, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who Jennifer Lopez just divorced, are best friends, for those of you who don't know. So I don't know where their friendship stands right now, but I really don't see Matt Damon doing something like this. And like I said, this doesn't look romantic to me. It looks like people just trying to get viral hits. So I don't think there's anything to it. All right, in our fourth and final quick story, sad news. Actor James Earl Jones passed away at the age of 93. We are sad to report the passing of James Earl Jones. According to Deadline, he passed away yesterday morning at his home in Dutchess County, New York. No further details have been confirmed at the moment. However, we're keeping his loved ones lifted in our prayers during this difficult time. You know, it's sad when people are like, not sad. It kind of bugs me sometimes when people are like, oh, he lived a good life. Like, don't be sad. He's 93 years old. Like, it's still sad when somebody passes away. But I understand he did live a great life. He lived to 93 years old. James Earl Jones, man. Like, what do you want me to say? This guy's legend. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did Luke Skywalker, Star Wars, Coming to America. Just legendary. Like, when you heard James Earl Jones's voice, you knew it was him, you know? So, anyways, shout out. Oh, he also did Mufasa, right? In Lion King. Was he yeah, I think he was Mufasa. Yeah. Anyways, shout out to James Earl Jones. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What's something small or insignificant that can instantly put you in a good mood? All right, Mo Anderson said direct deposit. Hilarious. The City Boy Siddle says consideration. Fair. The call Hottery? It's a weird name. Anyways, the call Hadri said music. That's a good one. I didn't think about that. You could be in a really bad mood and hear a good song or a song that you really love, and it instantly puts you in a good mood. That's a good one, actually. Underrated. Fugo Lord said, going on a road and the street is almost empty. Going on the road and the street is almost empty. Okay. Maybe this guy lives in like a very traffic-filled area. Omathrow 82 said a forehead kiss. Okay, we all know ladies love that. Maria Kultova said the smell of coffee in the morning, sunshine outside, and being around my kids. That's sweet. The next person said me giving somebody a compliment. That's nice. That's nice. I am like that too. I actually really like giving somebody a compliment. I love that. And I just like when somebody is not expecting it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, by the way, like your glasses are really cool. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you. It does feel good giving somebody a compliment. Somebody said fresh air, 1000%. I don't really feel like I appreciate fresh air. I feel I only do that like when I'm on vacation. I don't feel like I appreciate that just walking out my house, but don't want to take for granted fresh air. Trust me. If you've ever been to China, you know to appreciate fresh air. No shade to Chinese people, but you know. Somebody else wrote, waking up to the smell of bacon cooking. Yo, when somebody's frying bacon, yo, that's a nice, you know you're getting a nice meal, yo. Shout out to my bacon fans out there. Somebody just being polite and considerate. Somebody else wrote, a big hug and a good smelling man. Somebody else wrote, a beautiful sky, 100%. A smile from somebody, iced coffee. Somebody said money. Yo, don't let money put you in a good mood, man. That's a horrible answer. Somebody else wrote flowers. Watching a movie from my childhood, 1000%. Yo, you know what? A friend of mine, one of my good friends, loves rewatching movies, and I absolutely hate it. I will never sit down and watch a movie that I watched already because I'm like, why would I waste 2 hours? I've already done this. But if I go to somebody's house and an old movie is on, I love watching it, and I'll sit down and watch it because it's already going. But I won't sit down and take my time. I know it's weird, but it is such a good feeling, especially watching an old movie, being like, "Yo, this is my favorite movie." It is a great feeling, 100%. Somebody said a nice aroma, cleaning supplies. I love cleaning supplies too. That pine saw when that hits in the mop bucket and you mop up, that does put me in a good mood. Diamond Strawberry said food, 100%. My supervisor working remotely. That's funny. Money without asking if I need anything, fresh flowers, Snicker bars, seeing a cute animal outside. I'm not that type of guy. Like, oh, look at this cute animal. Maybe like a rabbit. I got a lot of rabbits around where I'm at and I drive home, but I don't really find they're cute. I'm just scared they're going to jump into my damn garage when I'm parking. Anyways, smelling a nice fragrance, coffee, perfume, etc. All right, that just took me down memory lane. See, those little things even just put me in a good mood, man. Thanks for the comments. Send me an email if you guys have anything to add to that. Trent at cfqr600.com. Comment below or send me a DM at Trent Out Loud. All right, this brings us to sports news. Miami-Dade police officer placed on administrative leave after detaining Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill before his recent game. One of Miami-Dade's police officers who was involved in detaining the Dolphins player Tyreek Hill has been placed on administrative leave. Sunday morning, the wide receiver was pulled over for a moving violation, according to his agent who spoke to CNN. The situation escalated, leading to Hill being put in handcuffs. Video footage of the incident began circulating on social media, appearing to show one of the officers kicking the player. Following the incident, the MDPD director announced that there would be an investigation underway and one of the officers will be placed on administrative leave. Hill addressed the incident on Sunday and said, "It's hard. I don't want to bring race into it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when they do things like this. What if it wasn't Tyreek Hill? Lord knows what these guys would have done. I just want to make sure I'm doing what my uncle always told me to do, what I was supposed to do in situations like that, and put my hand on the steering wheels and just listen." I do have a little clip of the incident. I will play it for you guys. Take a listen.
Car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. What part of law don't you understand?
All right, what we just played for you, there was a little piece missing in the beginning where the officers walk up to his window and he's like, yo, don't knock on my window like that. And that prompted them to drag him out. Some people are saying, well, why did you talk to a police officer like that? But that doesn't mean that you could drag somebody out and throw them to the floor like that. Like, obviously the officer was wrong and that's why there's an investigation. But anyways, all right, that is the Tuesday show. Thank you guys for kicking with me. Before you go, just want to remind you guys of all the ways you can keep up with the show. If you're used to watching this podcast on podcast platforms or listening to it on, if you're used to watching the show on YouTube or listening to it on podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday from 11 to 12 on CFQR600.com. We do play the Trent Out Loud podcast, but we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. It's a great show. It's a great way to listen to your podcast and get your daily news at the same time. But vice versa, if you cannot always catch a show from 11 to 12 on CFQR 600 or 600 AM, and if you're in the Montreal area on your radio, and you can't always catch it from 11 to 12, check us out on YouTube or podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And if you're like me and you like to watch your podcast with video, check us out on Spotify because Spotify now supports video. Lastly, stay up to date with me on any of my social platforms, Trent Out Loud, and the production company at Sioux City Media on Instagram. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Hump Day. The weekend's close, y'all. Peace! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!